This video is made for adult collectors because Bulkhead rips out a bot's quote-unquote intestines once and it was kind of intense. Transformers Prime was very violent, jeez. Bulkhead has always been an interesting design to translate from screen to toy. While he first showed up in Energon as a toy, most people remember him as the round one, animated in Prime. Bulkhead's most common class, Voyager, has had plenty of toys, and this lineup I believe is all of them, minus the RID one because I'm not buying that thing. So let's see which one I think is the best, eh? I have already done videos on the Legacy and the animated ones, and I will link them below, but first edition Bulkhead and RID Bulkhead are new to me, but I'm not buying RID Bulkhead because it looks like that. Before I get any further, I do have a Patreon. It is linked in the description down below if you want to support the channel a little bit further. You do not have to if you do not want to. There are exclusive videos up there for anyone who, I think it's like $3 Canadian or more. You get the exclusive content. I'm almost finished editing that video, so it'll be up for patrons maybe tomorrow. I'm so blown away by the first edition one. Like, they absolutely nailed it. Then pooed their pants with the RID one. What happened? But first edition looks amazing. This is the APC Toys or AC Toys version or whatever the company's calling themselves. I don't know. I might call it AC and APC, or at least had at the time of me recording this a ton of APC toys on their site. But Hasbro and Takara, because they're the ones who originally made this, nailed this thing. Look at it. It's almost a perfect match of the screen model, and for a 2012 toy, this thing is fantastic. Kind of wish the RID design got a toy as well. Oh well. The roundness is emulated so well, and the use of car parts on the robot, especially on the gets the hood oriented and the doors in front. It's a bit fiddly in transformation, but the end result is fantastic. AC/APC Toys, whatever, did an awesome job with this deco. It's like on this toy. I've been eyeing them for a while, but finally decided to get this and Rampage, and man, both are very different. You can tell Rampage is an earlier toy of theirs because it feels awful. Bulkhead, on the other hand, feels awesome. I have a friend who wants to get into APC toys but keeps putting it off, and like, for anyone in that same spot, buy this one. This is a great place to start. Even though it's labeled as AC, I'm like 80% sure it's the same damn company. All these companies are the same people at the end of the day. The back is so clean too. They got the wheels in the correct spot without there being anything unnecessary hanging off. Alrighty. It's a great look. However, mine has some portions of the limbs that are discolored, which is a huge shame. And apparently I'm not the only person with that issue. A couple people commented on my Twitter post saying, did yours also come with the yellow left fist or right fist or whatever? And yeah, the fist is a different color, the biceps are a different color, and the crotch plate's a different color. So it's a knockoff. What do you expect, right? You're not gonna get perfect Hasbro thing every time. This version also comes with the upgrade kit, the Forge of Solus Prime, which I think is an awesome way of storing all the parts, and it comes apart to become its actual hand cannons, which is epic as hell. However, if you get the regular first edition Bulkhead, and they're 5mm, so you can put blast effects in them, and I think that's honestly a little bit cooler. That's also how the Wrecking Ball on, was that it didn't look like this. And while I was also expecting this, I'm okay with what we got. I like it. I think the biggest issue is the fact that it says Prime Universe on the box. If it didn't say that toy, and it's completely fine, at the end of the day, it's the toy that you purchase with your own money, you can do whatever you want with it. But that being said, I'm also happy that they're shifting directions to be more Prime-like than G1-like with Skyquake. In all fairness, though, Bulkhead looked like this first, so like, what we have now is a massive departure from his original self. Oh, just compressed air to my face. I don't know why I did that. So Bulkhead's posing is great, but also not. There are a couple of weird things, especially in the legs, that do bother me quite a bit. And well, to start with, the head's also limited. It's on a ball joint, but only rotates side to side, only goes that far because of his chin. I mean, you don't really need it to go any farther than that, but it doesn't really do up and down that much. The side panels here a little bit. The arm can go in and out, but as you probably saw within this video, the arms they're quite loose. They're also yellow. Oh, look at Jesus Bulkhead. You got, okay, these don't tab in. That's a little annoying. You got
bicep rotation that's really tight. Elbow bend that bends more than 90, which is really cool. No wrist swivel, but it can go in and out just due to transformation. Nothing at the waist, and now we get into the leg problems. So the first one is the ratchets don't really work. They're very loose. He's got really tiny legs, and so like they don't support the figure that well. They're not the greatest. But you got forward about that far, you got back about that far, you got in and out, you got thigh rotation. You have a knee bend, but like, because of the way his design is, the knee bend is not going to accomplish much, and that's fine. However, because of the way the feet are built, you can't use the knee bend without him wanting to fall over unless you lean him forward, but then he can't look up. So you can't, it's hard to get him into like a very good looking pose. Like you can get the wrecking ball and the hammer involved, but it's just, it's not great in the legs, and it's just, see, it's the ratchets are so loose. They're very loose. It sucks. I also kind of wish that his toes can technically go forward, but only like a little bit. You can use the heels to sort of accommodate for posing, but up until that point, and that doesn't really give you much of a toe bend of sorts. So it's a bit of a shame how his lower body kind of sucks. I don't know if that's just my copy. Again, this is the AC, APC, whatever they're calling themselves, toy version, so it's not the actual Hasbro one. That one might be a lot stronger in the hips, but yeah.
This thing's transformation is really intuitive. The way the doors work to just get out of the way while not being on annoying struts, and the way the arms fold up to collapse into the back is great. The only thing I take issue with is flipping the head out of the robot mode. Many times, I find on this one, the head comes off because it doesn't quite line up properly, but after some wiggling, what was that? After some wiggling, you can get it into place. Getting the doors and the back end to tab in is extremely satisfying. Like if you line everything up perfectly, you can just slam it together and it fits. And I love that. In contrast, the animated toys transformation is extremely simple, but mine likes to fall apart, as we saw in that video. And the Legacy ones, while intuitive, is a little basic. Like there's some interesting things that happen in it, but it is a little bit basic compared to this. This one has a more involved transformation, which is why I like this one more than the, what is it, the Legacy one. Almost forgot what it was called. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm tired.
Funny.
Truck mode is fantastic. I don't think I've seen a Prime style bulkhead fail at the alt mode. Even the Beast Hunters one looks epic. Even the RID one looks epic. I love how the mass moves and changes visually, but it's still all present. Like the way they did that was cool. It's super beefy, and next to the other bulkhead alt modes, it's clearly my favorite. While I really like the Legacy's more modern take on a bulkhead alt mode with the effusion of Age of Extinction Hound in there, and how animated looks cartoony, Prime's alt mode will always be my favorite just because it just is a big honkin' military SUV, and this is a spitting image of that. Even the Prime RID one is a commendable alt mode. There isn't a lot of ground clearance, so it rolls a bit meh, but weapon storage for the Wrecking Ball is kind of neat. You just put it on the bed of the truck, which is cool, but the hammer has nowhere really to go as far as I know, other than plugging the guns into the side of the Wrecking Ball, but that falls off all the time. He stores his balls in the back. It's great. I love this thing. Unfortunately, like most first edition toys, it's so hard to find for a good price. Even the AC, APC, whatever the hell they are, one is hard to find too, but it's being more readily restocked because it's actually in production. Legacy also, I definitely recommend. It's such a good figure for the modern age, and animated, it's okay. RID is just ooh. But if you can find the Hasbro first edition one for a good price, I would highly recommend grabbing that. If you can find the Takara first edition for a good price, I highly recommend buying that. If you can find the Brawn version for a good price, you are literally made of magic, and I don't understand how you did that. And if you can find this one for like 40 bucks or less, then I would say pick it up too. But that's my look at first edition Bulkhead. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.